listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I'm smiling already because I was thinking about how with most podcasts, they have sponsors, so you hear commercials before you get to the content. And with mine, I feel like you all are my sponsors because what inspires me to record, what is fueling these new episodes is your reviews. Every time I read one, it makes me want to sit down and record another episode. And today is no exception. So we'll consider today's sponsor to be the reviewer who left a note for me on iTunes. Their name, It's Going to Be Great. I love that. That sounds like a conscious creator left this review. It's Going to Be Great from USA wrote, it was a lovely review. I won't read the whole thing, but my favorite part was, this was such a great reminder. One episode was a game changer. I love when we let it be easy. Yay for that. Yay for game changers with one episode. And thanks for everyone who does leave a review. It really means a lot to me, and it creates more episodes. So what I wanted to chat with you about today was, I just had a conversation with someone who was reporting that they haven't manifested anything in a long time. And I was like, you're manifesting everything always right now. Like it's everything in our lives is our manifestation. We're always creating. Yes, we might not be doing it on purpose. We might not be aware. It might not be what we prefer, but we're always doing it. But I understood they meant was that they hadn't done like a positive conscious manifestation in a while. And they asked me, what have you manifested lately, Jeanette? Kind of like, I don't think it was really like a challenge, like, oh yeah, let's hear how you're doing it. But just a curiosity, like what does conscious creation look like in your world? Well, conscious creation is different than creation because we're all creating all the time. But when we're doing it on purpose, that's a cool story. But when I answered the question about what have I manifested lately, the first answer, it was not a conscious creation. It was, because this had just recently happened where, I had a couple of feral cats hanging out in my garage all winter long. And I set up like 6 beds out there because I didn't know what their favorite thing would be. So I set up a variety of places for them to sleep, and they had heated water and they had wet food and dry food. I took wet food out to them every day. I checked on them regularly. And when we started getting closer to spring, I thought, I better bring them in, get some surgeries so we don't have a bunch of kitties this spring. So I had a friend help me trap them. Actually, we couldn't trap them. We had to net them. They wouldn't go in a trap. So we used a fish net, and so got them in the kitten nursery room, and the plan was take them in for space surgeries. So in fact, I posted pictures on my Facebook page from these 2 kitties. And before I got them in for the space surgery, it was like, I don't know, a couple days they've been in the room, and one of them starts not looking too great. And I won't tell the long story of this. I'll do the short version, but she's not looking great. And I'm not sure whether I should take her in or not, because taking a feral cat anywhere is stressful, but especially taking him to a vet is stressful. I've got to trap her. I got to catch her in the room. I got to get her in a carrier, transport, then the whole office routine. I mean, it's super stressful. There's got to be a good reason to do it. And I wasn't sure what she had going on. I wasn't sure they'd be able to help. I didn't know what to do. And I went to the vet with that vibration. How do you like that? A conflicted vibration was what I was flowing when I sat in front of the vet with this feral cat. And I was worried about her. I was concerned, mostly because what bothered me most was she's fine out in the wild, my garage, all winter long, but then I get her in my house and then she gets sick. That just bothered me a lot. Like my gremlins were having a heyday with that one. Like, what do I have going on that would make, I was starting to feel responsible for this. It was hard to come to any other conclusion. Anyway, that's my vibration. I'm sitting in front of the vet. And it wasn't my regular vet because it was a last minute appointment. So it's a new vet. It wasn't a new vet. It was just a new to me vet. And he basically says, well, we've got two options. Because she's feral, she's not easy to examine, so he's kind of guessing, and he lays out two options. And I said, well, we're going to do whatever you want to do. And he picks his option, and I say, okay. And it was like that. That's how it felt. It wasn't like I wasn't vibrationally on board with it. Like if my heart was a balloon, it was like a little bit of air just went out of it. It was inner guidance saying not this way. I was feeling a constriction in my body that is not. It was the opposite of alignment. Well, it's alignment with what you don't want is what it was. So I ignored that because I had just said to him, I wasn't consciously ignoring it, but I was aware that this wasn't feeling fabulous to me, but it was hard to tell what did feel fabulous because the whole thing I wasn't feeling fabulous about. So I said, okay, half-heartedly, because what my inner being was not on board with this plan. He does what he wants to do, and she was dead within 36 hours. It was heartbreaking, so heartbreaking. And I manifested that. In hindsight, it was easy for me to see. I showed up with a conflicted vibration. I was worried, my biggest concern, that I might have caused her death. I didn't listen to inner guidance when it was saying not this way, because it turns out after she was dead, I could see what was really wrong. What was really wrong, we didn't know because we didn't do an exam. His option B was to sedate her and do a proper exam, but he didn't do that, and I let him pick instead of my inner guidance picking. So it was a problem that seems like we probably could have fixed it. Like that cat might have been alive had I handled my alignment. And I know it's not right to judge death as a failure, but it was hard for me to not come to that conclusion. This was not a preferred manifestation in any way, shape, or form. And I created that, but I also learned from it. What I learned was, don't go to the vet conflicted for the love of God. In fact, maybe get aligned and then decide whether you need to go to the vet. Let inner guidance say whether you should go or not. I actually had an autopsy done on that cat because I wanted to confirm, because my gremlins were starting to think, maybe I got some sort of deadly virus in my house that I need to know about if unvaccinated cats. But I had other cats in there and everyone was fine. But I just wanted to be sure. And anyway, I'm not going to tell the long story of that. I promised you weren't going to have to hear all of that. So I'm not going to, but I learned a lot from it, a lot of good things, including listen to your inner guidance over the expert next time, girlfriend. Also, get lined up before you make a plan of action. And then, and also two other things, how to not judge something as positive or negative, but also how to not sacrifice my well-being based on what's happening out here. I feel like my cats, they're master teachers trying to tell me over and over again, it seems like it's my cats a lot lately, who are trying to give me opportunities to practice feeling good even when it isn't how I want it, even when I don't know where they are, even when I'm not sure they're okay, even when, all the things that make me give up my feeling good, they're giving me a chance to practice how to feel good no matter what. It's unconditional living, as Abraham describes it. How to be happy, not because of what's happening out there, but because I know how to choose happiness. Hello, how about that, Jeanette? They're giving me lots of practice. So there were some good things there, but it certainly wasn't my favorite. So that was one thing I told my friend that I manifested. And then the next thing, though, was that so Oscar, Oscar, he's the feral cat that I trapped last fall, who is in love with Harvey. I posted a video of him. He loves Harvey. In fact, Harvey is part of the reason that I'm not going to say his name again, because if he hears me talking about him, he might think I'm calling him. Oh my gosh, I just heard him come over. Oh my gosh. Oh, instant manifestation. Okay, so I cracked myself up. Oscar loves Harvey. That's partly how I tamed him. So he's partly tamed. He's still pretty feral, but we're making friends. It's clear we're going to be. And one day, I don't know where he is. One day, I realize I haven't seen him all day. I don't know where he is. And my normal routine, I've talked about this before, how I get concerned, I go looking, I start worrying. Did I let him out? Has something gone wrong? This, that, and the other. But this day was different. I've done this routine enough times that I got to be headed down the path of worry before I was like, wait a minute. Is that going to help? No. Hello, I know better. And also, can you feel good even when you don't know where he is? And when I asked that question, I realized I could. I could feel good. Even though I didn't know for sure where he was or whether he was okay, I could feel okay about it. I mean, I had reviewed the events of the day, and I'm pretty sure he didn't like get trapped somewhere or get locked outside. I'm pretty sure none of that happened. So even though I don't know what's happening, I've got enough of the good thoughts going that I can go to bed with peace in my heart. So I do. I'm getting ready for bed. I wash my face. I brush my teeth. I walk out to the bedroom, and there's Oscar laying right there on the bedroom floor. And I'm so happy about it because it feels like I manifested that. I relaxed, and then he appeared. So cool. But it turns out that Oscar wasn't putting weight on his back foot. So he had gotten hung up somewhere. I don't know what happened, but he's not putting weight on it. So I think, well, let's wait and see if it's just a little minor injury. You know, sometimes it gets better. No, the day or two passes, it's not getting any better. He's still not putting any weight on it. He'll rest it on the ground, but no weight. And I tried holding it, and it didn't seem broken, but still, things aren't getting better for him. So I'm thinking we got to go to the vet, but this time I'm like, wait, let's let inner guidance decide. So instead of proceeding with the vibration I'm worried about my cat, I proceed to plug in to happy, healthy Oscar. I'm practicing what it feels like for this cat to be thriving, for him to be healthy, for all to be well with Oscar. I'm practicing that vibration and then listening for what to do. And it took a little practice. It took a little practice because the first time I called a vet to say what I was looking at and ask their opinion, I could tell I wasn't fully lined up. So I hung up, and I didn't make any plans with them because I knew I needed more alignment in place before I knew for sure what to do. So I practiced feeling it a little more. And then I made another phone call, and I could tell I still wasn't there. It was going to take a couple tries, apparently. So I hung up the phone. I did some other things. I'm practicing, what it is for Oscar to be thriving. I'm feeling that. I'm getting a handle on that vibration. And then the phone rings. It's a friend. He asks what's up. I say, and he makes a suggestion that actually sounds good. His suggestion sounds good, and I could tell that was inner being point. It was like a neon sign saying this way. So I follow what he had said. It was it was a new ER for animals, and I'd never been there before, but I called them. They were closer than the one I usually go to. So I called them, and I called them I had plugged in proper. I felt like I was dialed in on good things for Oscar. I called them. They felt fabulous. So it was a green light for going in. So I did. And plus I also, I've had some practice lately catching ferals. And I found this wonderful difference between when I do it with fear in my heart, it doesn't turn out well. Instead, when I just get confident, and it feels important because it involves them. It isn't just me, it involves them. So I have more incentive to get lined up. So when I practice, this is going to be easy, and I do it with calm confidence and the preferred outcome in mind instead of the chaos that it can be when you're trying to catch a feral cat. It was super smooth. So I got Oscar in the thing. Yes, he was lame, so that helped. But again, I have been using that magic with some other ferals as well, and I feel like I'm starting to be a pro at this. So we're driving down, we get to the vet, and it's green lights. I'm still practicing feeling good things, and it's inner guidance is on board with this. I can tell it's a yes, 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 every step of the way. I like the girls at the front desk. We're sitting in the waiting room, and I'm waiting for the guy, and I'm practicing, okay, so what do I want this to be? And I'm thinking easy, effective, and affordable. That's what I really want this to be. Something that it's an easy fix, and it's an effective one. It actually works. And it's very affordable. How about that? So I'm practicing that while we wait for the guy to come in. And he's a fabulous guy. I really like this guy. And I loved how it was green lights all over. Because I was hoping they wouldn't just sedate him. I thought maybe they could do something with him before they sedate him. And the guy wanted to do the same thing. He was like, well, we prefer to see what we can see before we just automatically sedate him. And I was like, oh, that was what I was hoping you would say. And it turns out they're even better at managing feral cats than I am because they did a fabulous exam. Oscar was very cooperative, and they determined he's going to need a surgery. So it was something. I won't, for those of you who own cats or anyone else, we won't go into detail about what was happening with Oscar, but he needs a surgery. Turns out it's a very common injury. It's an easy surgery, and it costs $3,000. And I was like, whoa, that wasn't my idea of affordable. I was hoping that number was going to start with a 1, not a 3. But there we are. And the truth is, and I know this is the truth for a lot of people out there, the truth is it's affordable. For me, that's very affordable. I know that a lot of us have, and apparently I'm in this category as well, because for a minute I was like, gulp. I practiced Mike Dooley's affirmation. It's a good thing I'm rich. But the truth is, that's not an affirmation for me. I can easily afford this. But it's just those habits of thought. And I know other people. I just got an email from someone saying the same thing about how she notices this natural tendency to resist spending money when the truth is she has the money to spend. And I think that's because a lot of us have just practiced thoughts. We're in a society that practices those thoughts of, restriction around money. So anyway, Oscar had a very successful surgery, and I really liked how this one is turning out much more than the other one. I was for a minute thinking, really, well, why wouldn't you have manifested, if you're so good at this, Jeanette, why wouldn't you have manifested that he didn't even get injured? But I know better than to judge these things. You know that Zen koan about, the farmer who his horse runs off and the neighbors are like, oh, bad luck. And he's like, we'll see. Or what does he say? Is it, who knows? I don't know, something like that. He just doesn't judge. And then the horse comes back and he's got wild friends with him. And the neighbors are like, oh, so fortunate for you. And he says, we'll see. And then his son is breaking the wild horses and his son gets bucked off and breaks his leg. And the neighbors are all, oh, bad luck. And he says, who knows? And then the military rolls through town. They're picking up young men to join the army, but they can't take him because he's got a broken leg. And the neighbors are like, oh, such good fortune. The point being, don't be so quick to judge it as good or bad. I was kind of reminding myself about Oscar's injury and his surgery. And the vet even said something that I liked. And I feel a little bad for thinking this myself. But what the vet said was that, the reason they get this injury, they're super active and da-da-da. Oh, and he's also a little overweight. Oscar has put on weight since he came to live with me. And the vet, though he says this surgery, they're going to be fine. They can run, they can jump. Maybe not as much as before, but he says that's not necessarily a bad thing sometimes. And I'm like, I was thinking the same thing, doctor, because Oscar's the one who gets into everything. I mean, he's into everything. He's the one that turned on the burner. Remember the gas burner incident? When I woke up, I didn't wake up. Jasmine, my friend's dog, woke me up that one night when she never wakes up. She never has to go out, but she was insistent. And oh my gosh, it's the middle of the night. So I'm like, okay, I'm letting you out. And then she won't go out. And I was so mad at her. I was like, oh, you woke us up. You're going out now. And I pushed her out the door. I was mad at her for waking me up. And then when I closed the door, I was like, wait, what's that smell? Oh my gosh, the whole house smelled like gas because Oscar had turned on the gas burner. And you know what else Oscar does? When I say he turned on the burner, he didn't turn on the flame. So it was just gas. It was bad. Thank you, Jasmine. Hello. She got big treats for that. In fact, she might be my dog now. How do you like that? And then he brings steak knives from the kitchen. He brings them into the bedroom. I mean, when I say the guy gets around, and who knows how he even got this injury, he likes to climb to the top of the entertainment center and sleep under. I've got a spider plant up there. He likes to sleep under it. Anyway, okay, I'm telling this story way too long. But that was a big improvement for me to recognize where I was out of alignment and to get in it. And then in response to my friend's question, when he asked, what have you manifested lately? I was thinking in the same day, I had another one where, so we still got a couple feet of snow here where I live, but spring's coming. And I'm thinking paddleboarding weather soon. And I'm thinking that would probably be a good time to get some upper arm strength going because by the end of paddleboard season, I'm pretty strong. But the last 2 years, I've had my friend's truck to load a paddleboard in. And I don't know if I'm going to have that this year. So I do have a roof rack. I have a rack thing for a little Ford Focus. You can put a paddleboard on my little cart. It's a big paddleboard on my little cart. It's so cute. And it's not as easy as loading it into the back of the pickup truck. So just to avoid dents and dings, it's easier if you're strong. So I'm thinking, girl, maybe you could start building up your arm strength for the beginning of the season rather than just have it at the end. And then I was thinking, what else would be good for paddleboard season is to look good in a bikini. How would that be? And I'm thinking, yeah, that would be good. And I think, how much time do I have? And I figure, well, it's May. I got a couple months. Okay, that's plenty of time. That's plenty of time to get where you want to be. And I'm imagining where I want to be. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I got it. So So that day I was taking a shower, and then my habit, okay, this is from the old days. It used to be back when I was practicing body loathing instead of body loving. It used to be my habit to never see myself naked ever, like ever. I was really good at avoiding it. That's how uncomfortable I was seeing myself without clothes on. And when I realized, girl, nothing good happens with a vibration like that. You've got to practice some body love. So I did start practicing body love, and I have done it ever since. Now I'm really good at it now, to the point where when I go to get dressed now, before I get dressed, I purposely go stand naked in front of the mirror and just give her the appreciation she deserves. So I'm doing this today. I'm like, before I just throw some clothes on, I go stand in front of the mirror, give yourself the love. And when I get in front of the mirror, I'm like, holy crap. Whatever I thought needed to change in order for me to be ready for paddleboard season, I was wrong. I'm rocking it right here and now. I was like, that was an instant manifestation. I'm thinking, seriously, this is not how it looked yesterday? I don't think. Maybe it did. Probably those, I don't know what it is, but it's one of my nicer manifestations. So I was thinking about how our entire day gets to be, we're manifesting all of it, everything that happens. And when we clue in to those moments where we recognize we're showing up at the vet's office with a conflicted vibration, or we're thinking anything that isn't going to take us where we want to go, use that awareness to redirect and just plug in to what you prefer. Practice what that feels like for a minute or two. It's not like we have to do this. We don't have to meditate for hours or for weeks. It can be really quick. Just like when I was sitting down here thinking I was going to record in a new spot that's distraction free. And because I activated distraction, I was in resistance to distractions. And of course, I manifest more distractions. Our whole day is an opportunity for us to manifest what we want. So I don't know if I'm actually going to post this episode. I don't know if it's helpful at all. If I get any emails from people saying, yeah, that didn't get anything out of that, I will delete this episode. Maybe I won't even publish it. I don't know. But if you are listening, thank you for it. And thank you for the reviewer that inspired me to record something today. I got more episodes coming, so I just want to say thanks to everyone who plays with this conscious creation stuff with me. You could probably tell this is my idea of a good time, and it wouldn't be nearly as fun without you. So thanks for listening, and happy manifesting, everyone.